Hello, 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 everyone. Sorry, I'm doing it like this again. Purely as it's just going to be a little bit of a podcast of me talking rather than any visuals or recording. I'm being lazy. I can't be asked to edit. I want to go over sort of what's been going on with Cheshire and Steve and sort of start where we found out what was going on, etc. And I just took a few notes from the mod, whatever you want to call it, live or stream or whatever's being leaked out. Um, I firstly want to start by saying I don't like either of them. I don't like Steve. I think he's like he tries to make out that he's this big honourable man, and he's really, really not. And Chesh, I believe, is a bully. I'm sorry, but I do. I think she's hasn't grown up since high school and she's still in that sort of mindset. However, I am going to say on this, I am on Cheshire's side, purely because right is right and wrong is wrong. Um, I remember when I was talking to Steve, okay, this was a long, long time ago, but I he even said then, like when the non sequitur comes back, me and Cheshire are going to be partners. It's going to be awesome. You know, she's going to do this, she's going to do that. So for somebody even like me who haven't had any interaction with them for a very, very long time, was still very aware that when the non sequitur was to go back to Steve or Steve robbed, um, it was going to be a case of Cheshire was going to be equal partners and they were going to make this show great. Okay. So the first we heard about any sort of rumblings that there was anything wrong was Monia putting up that tweet saying that she does not support the NSS anymore, which inevitably basically saying she doesn't support Steve. Why she just didn't put that up, I don't know, but she wants to be, I don't know, maybe nice about it, whatever. So everybody sort of clinged to that. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? Which is fair. I think, you know, we've gone through this roller coaster with these people for such a long time with the whole like Katie Joy thing and Leslie Bass and everybody else out there that's had any kind of run in with Steve and being on that other end of Steve's tongue, I suppose you could say. We've all done it. I've been there. I mean, it's not nice. Um, anyway, that's near or there. So on this call, there was basically him, Cheshire, Monia, Claire Bear, Rez, and a few others that I don't know who they are, nor do I need to know, to be perfectly honest. The most thing that I took from it, and there was loads on there that I probably should have took more of, but to be honest, it was bored the shit out of me. However, there was a few people on there that really did make so much sense. And the first person was Claire Bear. I don't know this girl. I know that she's EKC's mod. I know she has her own channel. I'm not subbed. I don't watch or anything like that. Otherwise, I would say what channel it is. I'm guessing it's just Claire Bear, maybe. I don't know. If I can figure that out, I'll put the link in the descriptions. But out of everybody, I feel she was so level-headed, and we'll get into a bit more about her later, but she was so level-headed, and so was Monia, to be fair. Now, again, I'm not keen on Monia. I think she was just so far up Steve's butt, it was quite scary. But it seems like since she sort of removed herself a little bit, she's having somewhat of a opinion for herself, which is fabulous. Like, I'm not going to dispute that. But again, we'll get into her again later. So the sort of basic of the call was from the start, or how it seemed to be portrayed, was what the mods can do. What do the mods feel that could be improved of the shows and whatnot. From what I could make out, the shows are not great, right? I don't watch, nor am I going to even put myself through that to watch, but they weren't great. They were getting better by what the mods and the others were saying in there, which is fine, whatever. Chesh then asked about sort of what happens with the vetting of guests. How do you vet the guests? He got completely flustered and basically couldn't answer it. So I'm not surprised by this, and neither should you be. He has no idea. Like, he thinks that he is this great, masterful YouTuber when in reality he's really not. And he said, oh, well, there was paperwork on it. I wrote this thing up, and everyone was like, well, where is it? And then Claire Bear again came in and said, actually, she said two things. First of all, she said, well, where is that? I'm supposed to be helping you with PR. And where is it? So he has all these people trying to help him. And to be fair, like I said, I don't know who Claire Bear is. I really don't. But from what I'm taking off of that call between them all, she's a smart cookie. She seems to know what she's talking about. She's very articulate, and she seems to have a very good head on her shoulders. I'm guessing she works in that kind of field. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Another thing she said is, you're not listening to Steve, which I think was clear to anybody who was watching it. And she stated that every time anyone says anything to you, you were bringing stuff back up on the screen, which inevitably your mind is somewhere else and you're not listening to what Cheshire is actually saying. And I got to be honest, I was a little shocked. In a good way, but a little shocked. I was like, he needs somebody like that. So I'm kind of hoping that she's sort of giving it and continually giving it to him real, because I think she could be really good for him. I'm not going to lie. Not that I want him to be good, but if he's going to be, at least there's somebody with some morals in there, which Claire Bear seems to be that person. So he knows, like, oh, I'm listening. Clearly he wasn't. He had the most bizarre look on his face the whole time. He literally looked like a child who got caught stealing sweets in the candy shop. That's literally what I got from that. And somebody's done him a good one. Like, he had a couple of black eyes. His face looked really swollen. He had like a cut on his head. And the more went on, the more light came on to show it, which was quite funny. It was like, it shouldn't be funny, but it is. He was genuinely like, well, feel for me, feel sorry for me. Then he went on about his mental health. And I'm like, really? You want to sit there and say about your mental health? You have spent months and months and months and years going after all these different women in the community. God knows what you're doing to their mental health, but you want to sit there and worry about your mental health? Narcissistic. Anyway, I digress. So it goes on. This call is literally like 2 hours long, so I can't even get into every single thing that was said. Anyway, going back to the vetting of the guests, he went off to try and find that thing. Claire Bear came in and was just like, you're not listening to Chesh. But again, if Cheshire is on that stream, shouldn't she be fully involved in the vetting process, or at least know exactly what they're going to be talking about? What is the guest actually they're going to be discussing? Is it going to be, on God? Is it going to be on atheism? Is it going to be on a paper that she read? Nobody apart from Steve seemed like they knew what the heck they were doing. Even Jim, who thought he was going into another something else and walked into something that he had no idea of. So it seems like Steve wants to think that everybody can read his dang mind, which is clearly not the case. But again, he just wants to sit there with that dumbass look on his face and be, I don't know what you're talking about. I digress. So then they sort of go on from there, and other things get brought up about how the show is running and all the other things. And then it gets on to the monetary side of it. So he is stating that he thinks that Cheshire should only be entitled to money that is from the date she started. So any monies that is from old videos. Now, I'm not sure how, unless you're going to sit there and go through and add every, I have a YouTube studio. I can go in and see if any money's been made from, but like, if you got a large channel like that, you're going to have to go through every single video and add up every single $3, $5, $10 from each video that's previous. That seems bizarre to me. I think if it's a 50-50 partnership, then it's a 50-50 partnership from there onwards, whether it's previous or not. Then he said that, oh, well, that has to go to the running costs of the channel. Now, I 100% agree to that. I do, 100%, because it is running costs to the channel. There's the name, the domain, and all of that malarkey, which is something that is 100% cost money, and that should come out of the channel funding. It shouldn't be coming out of his. The $5,000, however, that he used of his own money to get the channel back, I'm not convinced that that should come out of the channel, just because he put that in. He only put that in right at the end. Are you going to pay Rufus or whatever his name back for all the money he put in? And then he literally, I think it was Monia that said this. He said, oh, well, she can't possibly want money for the show she wasn't on. And I believe it was Monia, I could be wrong, but Monia turned around and said, so what about the shows you weren't on that was Katie or Kyle was on? You're going to send them the money? And then he was like, oh, well, I was asking. I wasn't saying that I was right. No, you was exactly. That's exactly what you were saying. Then another thing he stated, still on the money situation, he stated about taxes and stuff like that, and he has to pay taxes and all of this. Well, that should come out again of the channel. So if you make whatever, there should be a bit put back for anything legal, taxes, and all these other kinds of stuff. I can't imagine why you wouldn't put something aside for those things. It shouldn't necessarily need to come out of your fundage. And then he had the cheek to ask Cheshire about her taxes. Are you kidding me? You have no idea. You have no right to ask her. And she's just an employee, as you've made very, very clear. You have no right to ask an employee about her taxes and how she intends to pay them. And she should then be paid before anything else is paid, because she's an employee. So it doesn't matter whether you want to pay your $5,000 back, whether you need money for legal fees to put away for that, or put that, or that, because that should be absolutely irrelevant of what she gets paid before anything else, because she is an employee. You, however, doesn't want to see that. And between these sort of fights, Cheshire misspoke, and she said she bought in. And I don't think it was I don't think she misspoke. I honestly don't. Because let's think about it, okay? Cheshire have given 3 years of her life to this man. Like 3 years, or nigh on 3 years. It might be 2 and a bit, but 3 years. Let's just say she could have been earning, let's do a minimum, 20K, right, a year. She's give this bloke 60K's worth of her time. And I'm doing that on the very, very minimum low end. Isn't that like buying in? Do you know what I mean? Isn't that she's literally give all this time, energy, and I'm not being funny, but she saved his butt. And I've said this a million times on my channel before, and I know I have, because she's had a go at me about it. But she's there to pull him out of the shit that he gets himself into. And it's true. He'll say something that is completely off the wall. She'll go in and mend it and make it all better. I just don't understand where his thought pattern is, that he genuinely thought he could do this to somebody like Chesh. Like Chesh can, I'm guessing, this isn't me being factual, but I'm guessing she can hang him, draw and quarter him with the information she has. I don't think she will. I don't think she's going to, which is me being a nosy bitch is like, eek, I really want to. I want to know. I want it to sit down and put it all out. I don't think she will. I honestly don't. Unless he does something underhanded, then she might. But I don't think she will. I think she's just going to take this on the chin and carry on. Another thing as well, then she said was, well, I'm 50-50 partner. I want everything. And he said, well, yeah, you're 50-50 with the money. But no, it's my channel. I make the final decisions, so on and so forth. Now, I don't know how he thinks this is going to be any kind of workings for him, because it really isn't. You are, I'm not going to word it, you're 2019. You're so, you know, that old saying, you're so last year. That's what Steve is. Like, he's so last year. Nobody cares. Like, genuinely. There are a few people that will still do like me, that'll still want to watch little bits and pieces, not of him, but of other people doing things like Menace or something like that. Or Jane, I think the name of the chat. I have to find it and I'll link it below. They do quite a few bits with Steve. You know, there are a few of us that have been so fucked over by him that, you know, we'll still watch on from the outset just to see things be taken down from him and watch him fall. You know, he's happy to sit there and call other people all these different names and want to do all this different stuff. He can't even run a YouTube channel. He, without Bull, if you go back to where Bull was, and rest in peace, I'm not saying anything nasty about Bull. I don't know him, and nor would I. He's passed now. Let his, you know, let him let his legacy live, kind of thing. But without Bull, he's nothing. Without Chesh, he's even worse than nothing. Because Chesh is the one that people want to see. Chesh is the one that they tolerate Steve for Chesh. And I don't know, again, who's left and who's not. And I know that Rez has left and Monia. Those two were his, I don't want to say his best people for giving him money, because I think that's unfair on others. But from what I could make out on my, you know, my personal opinion, is that these two people were the ones that were throwing money at him a lot. Now, the fact that he thinks he can throw all these people under the bus and just be able to walk away from this with being and having a good YouTube channel is crazy to me. You've literally fucked yourself over. Another thing, I don't know who said it, I have no idea, but somebody turned around and said, oh, well, Chesh is Kyle. And I'm like, no, Chesh is Steve. Steve stated that Kyle stole the channel after they were 50-50. There was no written contract. It was all verbal. She's Steve. He has took over the channel, and for the last 3 years or 2+ years, I've been saying, yep, you're going to get 50%. We're partners. And again, go to Menace to surprise you, or that Jane. I will put it in the description as soon as I can figure out how to do it, because I'm blonde as shit. But I will try and put it in the description. Go to both of their channels and you'll see, like, her face, because she got told that she was going to be this 50-50 partner. And when he doesn't state that on a live, her face is a damn picture. And I feel bad for her. Like, I'm sorry, I don't like Cheshire. I do think she's a bully. But on the same token, is she deserves 50-50 of that channel. I honestly don't think there's any sort of comeback from this. I think it's gone too far now. I don't think that there's going to be any comeback. Like, I really don't. I don't think there's going to be any way that Cheshire and Steve can have that relationship as they have had previously. Or I'd be very surprised if anything comes back from that. On that Jane's video, again, I will try and link it, I promise. On that Jane's video, there is a piece from Discord where Rez, R-E-Z, not Reds, makes a statement, if you like, and says basically a lot of different things like, I was supporting you, I gave you blah, 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 blah. And he basically gave him two options: to refund 2K, which is what he's given him, or prove that he has no integrity, honesty, and honor left. Little harsh, but I get it. Like, these people have literally been supporting both of them. And I think Rez made this comment in that meeting, I've been supporting both of you. I haven't just been supporting Steve, or not just been supporting Cheshire. I've been supporting both of you. And I completely understand that from a outsider looking in, that yeah, he's not just supporting, he's supporting, I suppose the show is the right way to put it, isn't it? He's supporting the show, whether Steve's on there, whether Monia or anybody else. And I don't know that he can do it on his own. Like, I suppose if Claire Bear stays, I think that she could be a real asset to him. But I also don't think she's stupid. I think that she could easily see through his bullshit. Like I said, I don't know the girl. I don't know the girl. I only seen what I saw on there. But everything she said on that video sort of stood out to me and sort of made so much sense. And like I said, I was so shocked that she had that balls to say those things, because lots of people with Steve don't. And she's right. If she's helping him with PR, and she was giving him so much good advice, and he just sat there like a child, spitting the dummy, like, I've been caught stealing from the candy shop. It was quite a pathetic look on his face. And I think he's realized that he's completely fucked up. He completely fucked up. Again, it's going to be interesting where people loyalties lie now. I don't know how anyone can still support Steve after this. I really don't. I don't know where, or how, rather, not where. I don't know how anyone can now say, oh yeah, Chesh wasn't a 50-50. Like, is she stupid? Like, no, Steve's right. I don't know where they can say that, or if they do, I'd love them to do a response video and explain to me, and I'm sure other people, how they are still thinking that Steve is right in this situation. Because I'm sure there are, nobody's really speaking on it. I thought Erin would have done a video by now, but nope, her mouth is tightly shut. I'd like to hear from her. Like, I don't dislike Erin. I know a lot of people do, but I don't. Do I like that she's still going after Katie? No, it's boring. Like, come on. You can do so many other things and you have a real good following, and it's the Katie stuff just bores the shit out of me. But it'd be interesting to see where she lays, where Claire Bear lays. And if Claire Bear does stay to try and help him, fair play to her. I don't think it would be a long-winded stay. I think Erin will stay purely for her bestie. Like, her bestie is Tina. And to be fair, again, this is just my opinion, Steve could shit in the corner and Tina would say it wasn't him, she literally is so infatuated with him that he really could shit in the corner and he'd be like, no, Steve never did that. It was my dog. You know where I'm coming from with that. And, anyone else, like, I know Monia has left and gone to Cheshire side. Rez have obviously left and gone to Cheshire side. But it'd be interesting to see the people on the outskirts, what they're gonna go with, like Red's Rhetoric and Erin and Clear Bear and all these other people that have Tina that have sort of gone so far up Steve's butt that actually I'm not going to put Clear Bear in there because that's unfair. I don't know her to. Yeah, I'm not exclude Clear Bear from that actually, but the others are so far up his butt that I wonder if they'll see right and wrong is wrong. You know, I don't know. Well, that's all we really know to now. But I think there's sort of neither of them or none of them are putting it onto YouTube. Whether they do or not is another story. I hope they do because I think a lot of people haven't got Twitter and a lot of people are not going to be understanding in what the fuck is going on. Like, why is Chesh and them having a fallout and what's going on? I think they need to be grown and sit and tell their followers and be honest, be honest with them and let them decide on which avenue they're going to take. That's all I know. And that's all I really want to know. I will try and put Menaces and that Jane something in the description. If not, I definitely know how to put it in the comments. So it might be in the comments. So look at both just so that you're aware because I'm dumb. I digress. And it is just going to be let's see what happens in the next sort of couple of weeks. Anyway, I'm going to get off. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and, share if you can. That would be great. Leave a comment. Let me know if you think I'm wrong or right on whatever. Happily to discuss with you in the comments. And I shall speak to you all next time. Bye, guys.